They told me Ruina Orphanage never existed. No documents, no address, no survivors. Just stories said over drinks in the bars near Cluj, always ending with the same line: if you hear the children laugh, run. Don't wait to see them. I didn't run. I was in Romania, filming from my urban exploration YouTube channel. I've done mental hospitals, war bunkers, a flooded mine shaft, but Ruina felt different. Something about the way people didn't talk about it made it more real. There was only one forum thread still online, archived on some dead Romanian server. One user said their uncle worked there during the 1980s. Said it was never an orphanage at all. It was a facility, a test site, a secret. For what children? I found a local named Andre who agreed to take me for 300 euros. During the drive, he said only one thing: you can go in, but don't speak to them. No matter what they say. We drove for hours into the pine forest. Then the road ended. A decaying sign hidden under ivy read, "Ruina Children's Home, in loving memory of what was never loved." Andre parked, stared ahead, and muttered, "This is where it ended." I asked him what that meant. He didn't answer. The orphanage looked like it had been swallowed by the woods. 3 stories tall, the top half collapsed inward. Vines bled through broken windows like veins. A rusted gate creaked open like it had been waiting. The moment I stepped inside, I felt it. Silence. Not quiet. Dead silence. Like sound had no permission here. My boots echoed across the warped floorboards. Dust filled the air. It stank like burnt hair and wet metal. I reached the main hall. That's when I heard it. Tiny footsteps. Bare feet. Running upstairs. Then laughter. High. Shrill. Too happy to be human. My stomach flipped.
I whispered to myself, this place is just messing with me.
But I already knew that was a lie. I found a hallway lined with doors. Most were locked, but one opened with a hard push. It was an office. Inside, a metal filing cabinet tilted on its side, spilling folders across the floor. Patient records. I picked one up. Subject: K12 Emil. Age 5. Symptoms: aggression, unresponsiveness, self-mutilation. Treatment: daily sensory isolation. Cranial drain installed. Notes: still whispers when no one is in the room. Then another. Subject: F7 Alina. Age 4. Behavior: refuses to blink. Responds only to humming. Procedure: eyelid removal was unsuccessful. Attempted nerve deadening. Status: unresponsive since Jan 1986. The body still breathes. There were photos stapled to each file. I wish I had never looked at them. One child had their mouth sewn shut not neatly. Jagged thread. Lips torn at the corners. Another had a crude metal frame drilled into his skull, keeping his eyes open. One girl was just bone. Her skin looked stretched too thin to exist. They weren't treated. They were changed. And suddenly, I heard it. A child's voice. Right behind me. I turned around fast. Nothing. But now, on the wall behind me, something new had appeared. "Come find us." Written in chalk. still dusty, still warm. My flashlight flickered. Then I felt the tiny hands brushing past my ribs. Dry, ice cold, like dead skin. Then a whisper near my ear, like lips right against it. "You're it." I spun around, hard in my throat. Nothing, but the hallway had changed. It was longer, too long, and the walls weren't still anymore. They were breathing. I ran forward, trying to find the exit, but every turn led somewhere new. A staircase curled up to the ceiling. A hallway sloped downward into darkness. I found a room lit by a cracked skylight. 7 tiny chairs in a circle. Each had a stuffed animal tattered, rotting, but all of them had human teeth sewn into their mouths. Some still had blood on them. Behind me, voices, children, whispering in unison. "If you don't find us, we'll find you." Then, SLAM. The door locked behind me. I kicked it, screamed. Then I heard dragging. Something is moving just outside, dragging limbs, clawing across the wood. I held my breath. My legs shook. Then the knob turned. The door creaked open slowly, and they came in. They were children, or what was left of them. One crawled with no legs, spine twitching like a broken worm. Another's arms had been stitched together at the wrists, swinging them like ropes. One stood with his head hanging sideways, as if his neck had snapped decades ago. They weren't walking. They floated, feet an inch off the ground, no sound. Their eyes were gone, some sewn shut, others just empty sockets. But they stared straight at me, and all of them smiled lips, just teeth. Then, together, they whispered, "You're late to the game." I couldn't scream. I dropped to my knees. My body locked up, and that's when the orphanage showed me what it was. I saw memories, visions, like the place was forcing me to remember someone else's pain. A room, a boy, maybe 6, strapped to a table. 2 doctors stood over him. One smiled, the other filmed. They inserted metal rods under his nails. Slowly, no anesthesia. He screamed until blood came from his eyes. Then they turned him over and peeled the skin from his back like wet paper. Another flash. A girl was locked in a white box. No light. Her skin had turned blue from the cold. Her mouth had been filled with broken glass. They made her hum. Every time she stopped, they shocked her, until her tongue fell out from bleeding dot. One last vision. A group of children, maybe 10, locked in the basement. The staff poured gasoline around the doors and lit the match. The fire burned the building, but not them. The children didn't die. They became the building. They became the walls, the halls, the air. They never left. I woke up near the entrance, face against the floor, covered in dust. It was morning. My throat burned. My ears rang. I stumbled outside. Andre was there, eyes wide, terrified. He asked, "You saw them?" I nodded. He looked at my neck, paled. "Your voice," he said. "It's gone." I tried to speak. No sound. I reached into my pocket. There was a paper, old, burnt on the edges. It said, "You screamed when you weren't supposed to. Now you listen forever." They say Ruina burned in 1987, but no bodies were found. No bones. No ash. Because the children never left. They play, and they wait. If you ever hear laughter behind a wall, if you find chalk writing that disappears when you blink, if you feel tiny fingers grab your coat in an empty hallway, don't turn around. You're already in the game, and you're it.